Hi my friends, here's today's card and we are hopping along with the Art with Heart colour hop with our gorgeous grape. Now when I was looking at what colours would combine with the gorgeous grape using our Stampin' Up colour wheel, I discovered that a triadic colour combination is gorgeous grape, pumpkin pie and garden green. Now I was really worried that this was going to invoke some Halloween vibes, but I am really pleased with how this has turned out. I've cased this card from Maheshwari, and you can find her on Instagram, YouTube, and on her blog. I think it's called My Stamping Garden. Anyway, that's one for me to check out. I really love her style, and she is also an artisan card maker for Stampin' Up for 2024. And it was so awesome that on World Card Making Day, she actually presented one of a upcoming new product that's going to come out in November. That is so exciting to see. I was just like, oh my goodness, stocking fillers. And for myself as well. I mean, I can't tell you anymore, but there is definitely something that is going to be released in November from Stampin' Up. That is so exciting. Anyway, I'm Amy and welcome to my channel, Eager to Stamp, and my craft room. And this is where I show you how to make beautiful cards, and I'll see you down on the craft table to make this. For today's card, you're going to need some pumpkin pie, which I've made into the card base. You'll need some black cardstock. This one here is 9.5 centimeters long, and it is 13.8 wide, so a nice little 0.5 border around. You will also need some gorgeous grape cardstock. This one is 9 centimeters and it is 13.3 in length, and I have gone ahead and I've embossed that from the basic embossing folders, which I thought was really cute, and I thought it kind of matched this pumpkin pie paper, which I got from the Simply Zinnia designer series paper. No, sorry, Flowering Zinnia 12 by 12 designer series paper. And it has been cut from one of those dies in, I think it's the Peaceful Seasons die set. So that's really cute. And it also came with a smaller die. So I've cut that in from the basic white. And then I've just got some black, which is a 4x4 piece, and then I've just rounded those corners. So we'll do some stamping on that. You'll need a strip of black cardstock. We're going to do a heat embossed sentiment, and then I've gone ahead and used the Flowers of Beauty dies, and I've cut several of those. Oh, lovely. Lovely flower pieces anyway, from there, along with a smaller flower which I've cut from there. And I'm going to knock out these pecan pie and clear adhesive back dots. I'm going to be using the clear ones. I've got my Whisper White craft stamping pad, going to do a little bit of flicking, and I'm also going to do, so just good old toothbrush for the flicking, and I'm also going to do some flicking, some black, flick some black around. Let's get on with it. Let's get some making done. So one of the first things that I'd like to do is we can work from the bottom. We can work from the bottom up for now because this is all ready to go. And by the way, guys, I did it. I was like, last video, I was like, I am so over this glue just lying around my table. So there you go. I went ahead, I found that YouTube video, and look, it happened. Yes, the small things, isn't it? It's the small things. Okay, so we're just going to adhere that black mat to our card base. I feel like this video, I feel like this camera is quite close to my crafting table. Something I didn't, maybe I need to look into down the track, but for now, welcome to my craft table. Getting quite a close up here. Oh goodness me, we're just sliding around everywhere over here, aren't we? Okay, so, and you can just wiggle that around and adjust it to your liking. And now I'm going to stop there. I think we need to get some flicking done. So now the problem with flicking is that it goes everywhere. It's a really kind of activity that everything's going to get impacted by. So to stop that, I might just grab some of the Stampin' Up grid paper. Just gonna fold that in half. I'll also put one down. So I'll fold it in half, and then you can't see that except that it just got darker. So I'm just going to, like a little barrier, pop that on there. So like that. But yeah, let's put, I mean, I can go ahead and do it on the glass mat and then just wipe it off. But why would I when I've got grid paper around? So, okay. So put our grid paper there. We've got our okie dokie. So we're just going to flick some white craft ink on this. You've seen me do this a few times with my ocean cards. I just pick up the ink from the actual, with a toothbrush, from the actual ink pad. And then I often, with my ocean ones, I go ahead and I use that. But we're going to see if we can do a bit of flicking. Now, if it doesn't work, that means I'm going to need to get some water onto it. And there we go. Yeah, I think a little bit of water isn't going to go astray with this. All right, let's see how that will work out for the card. Yeah, the water was a definite good extra touch. Now on Maheshwari's card, she's actually got quite some big blobs. Now I'm probably not going to be able to achieve those big blobs because I am like I picked it up from the stamp pad. We might as well just go ahead and do our black. So we'll move that one out of the way and just going to flick some black onto here. Now what I noticed the last time that I did some flicking after I had flicked, or after I had washed my brush, is that there was quite a bit of water on the toothbrush. So we'll see how we go. So I've got the black onto here, and I'm just going to, I haven't added any water to it. I'm just going to see what the impact of a wet toothbrush is going to have. So we're just going to go ahead now and flick this onto our, see, I worry which way I flick because that's where the ink is going to go. Okay. Oy. Actually, I like that. All right, I'm just going to go and clean all this up, and we'll go ahead and we'll do some stamping. Okay, I'm really glad that I did end up putting this down here. I have cleaned up my finger, so just soap and water was absolutely fine. But there is definitely some staining to my toothbrush, and you can just see when I've laid it down here, this is some staining to my acrylic block. I could try a bit later if the Stamp and Scrub will work on that. This should be nice and dry. We can take this away now. And like I said, we're going to do some stamping. Now, I am using a photopolymer stamp set. We're going to be using the Flowers of Beauty. So, just going to find my foam mat. We're going to be stamping this flower here. We're going to be stamping that in Gorgeous Grape. Okay, here's my foam mat. Pull this out, pop the foam mat down. You can see, grab out our lovely little flowers. We're going to use the outline and we're going to use the fill. I have found in the past that I prefer to do the fill first and then add the background after I've done the fill. So I think we each have our personal preference. Okay, so this is two-step stamping, I guess. Because you're doing an outline. So we're just going to ink that up with our Gorgeous Grape. And we're going to go full colour into the centre of our splattered thing. Okay, now it's meant to look like that. Now I'm also just kind of looking at Mareshwari's one, and I'm just going to stamp an extra one. Then we'll just stamp that one there. I'm pretty sure that there is a die for this small flower. So we're looking at the dies here. Yep, so this will be it here. So I'm going to put a flower, a die cut flower over the top of my stamped one. Okay, let's go ahead now and clean our stamp. Before I started this video, I had a lovely clean craft table, which was awesome, and I'm glad that I did, because right now it is full of crafty goodness. Okay, now there is a way for this to be stamped, and so it's just a matter of finding what that way is. So we've got this nice one here. I'm going to go for this one here, which is kind of bent to the side, which I believe is that one there, and everything else seems to be corresponding to that. So we're just going to, I'm actually going to use that one that I stamped on a different piece of paper as my guide. Okay, so it's actually the first time I've inked up this particular one, so I'll just stamp it, have a look, see how it went. That is cute. I'm going to go ahead with that. Okay, we're going to do the same now and stamp it onto our little label. Okay. Yep. All right. I think this stamp set is designed in such a way that you really can't go wrong. So we'll pop that back inside and pop it away. And we'll go ahead now and we'll die cut this guy. All right, I've shown you this tip before, and I'm going to show you how it's really helpful in this circumstance. So this is the die, and instead of me trying to fiddle around to find out which way it goes, I have gotten a scrap piece of paper and I have cut the flower out of there, and then all I have to do is basically rotate this flower until it looks like it fits perfectly, and then all I have to do is insert. There we go, just like fitting a puzzle together. You can set that in there and pop it through the die machine. And there we go, the perfectly cut flower using that little technique. All right, we're going to put a dimensional in the back of that, and we're going to adhere it to, we'll just adhere it slightly off. I think, yeah, that looks good. Dimension will make it even better. Just your standard size dimensional. Pop it on the back. Okay. All right, lovely. So that is our topper part done, and we're going to move back to our. All right, we're not going to do stamping for a minute, so we'll move that out of the way. We'll bring our layer, embossed layer back, and we're going to adhere this one onto there. I'm going to adhere it straight onto there, even though it's embossed. I usually like to add a bit of dimensionals there, but because this layer oh dear, you know, even though I had my little Tombow holder, I think I just forgot to put it in. Okay, so we want to be careful around these openings, but we also want a nice thin layer around those edges. Little dots will do for your edges. Let's get them stuck down nicely, especially on this embossed background. Just try and pour a bit more glue than I usually do. Okay, it's definitely in my Tombow glue holder now. Okay, and we're going to go for that turned square look and try and get our eyeball the even top to even bottom. Okay, and it actually looks really good glued, even though it's glued straight onto there. All right, the next part is probably going to be a bit harder, because once I start trimming these up, they kind of like go their little separate ways. So, but that's fine. Oh, let's bring this guy back, and we're going to adhere it onto our 4x4 square that we have corner cut. Okay, little just thin bits of glue if you can, just around here. Okay. All right, and then we'll try and get eyeball again, our even sides. Try not to get it stuck to the fingers and move it away. Okay, just a little bit my way. A little bit down. Oh, I think that's great. Okay, yeah, I think that's really good. All right, and then what's going to happen is this is going to go onto here. We're going to dimensional, so I'll put some dimensionals on the back. Even if I sit it to the side, at least it's ready to go when I'm ready. Because we're going to be popping those flower stems, okay, behind. Okay, and so we might use this opportunity, so it's going to go straight there. Use this opportunity. I know that particularly this one is too long and it pops out the side. So we're going to start there, center that. All right, and pretty much I need to trim down here everything that is showing down in that corner. Okay, so I'll bring in my scissors and we're just going to trim about there. Okay. And we'll check it, and that's perfect. We can just glue that straight to our layer. Okay, this is all going to go underneath that square. Okay, leaving it a little bit free at the top just to allow like any kind of curling that I would like to do. And okay, and we'll just check. Beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to layer another one kind of over the top there. So we already know that that worked out beautifully, so we're just going to chop here and here, and then it all kind of stayed together. Perfect. Okay, so get a bit more glue. Again, just going to glue the bottom of the stems. Did I forget to put that into my Tombow glue holder? Yes, I must have. Oh dear. Okay. There we go. All right, so it's going to go underneath underneath our square anyway. So if I glue about here, and it's I'm trying to keep it all on to the gorgeous grape. Yep, and check it again. Yep, loving that. And I'm just going to do one more, and this time it's coming down off the side down here. So we'll go ahead and do those cuts that we know work. So we've got one cut here and a cut here. Okay, get rid of the excess. I mean, I'm getting better at getting rid of my scraps. You could keep it and do more projects and things like that. But I'm going to go for the throw. Okay. And this one's coming to the side like so, and everything should be underneath there. Beautiful. Okay, now if you're thinking what I'm thinking, then you're going to realize that it's going to be higher on this side. than it is on this side. So we may actually look at doubling our dimensionals. So we will look at that very soon. Okay, what do we do now? Let's go into oh, I think we go ahead and glue before I lose it. So let's go ahead and glue this little flower. She goes up into the corner here, so glue, a little bit of glue there. Okay, dropsies, and just glue up into the corner there. Okay, just coming off. In fact, I'll just make it come off a bit more. Yeah, so I just avoiding that black border behind there. Okay, so that's good. And that's where one of our first little embossing dot is going to go. So we're going to use one of the large ones. I'm going to grab my take a pick and just grab one of these large. Whoops, nearly did it, and pop that into the center of there. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, that's going to go, it's going to be our layer over there. So the next part is to emboss in white a little sentiment, and this is going to be a little banner, and we only want it to go to about that length. We want it to sit underneath. Okay, so you can see that our sentiment, I can even pop this one up. You can see that our sentiment is going to only be a very short one. So I'm just going to have a look at my stamp sets and see if I can find a nice little short sentiment there. Okay, so this is going to make a great thank you card. So I've gone and grabbed out Thoughtful Wishes, and I'm just going to use the single word of thanks. That one's going to suit it the best. So it's a nice rubber stamp, so we won't need to have our foam mat. Okay, it's nice and thin, and also it's got a little bit of a slant, so it's I don't have to worry too much about it being like exactly straight. So this is going to be embossed, so I'm going to need to go and get my Versamark and some white embossing powder, and then I'll heat gun it, and I would also like just to trim it down a bit as well. Okay, so that's the heat embossing done, and before I adhere that to the card, I'm going to bring in some of this frayed ribbon, frayed gosgrain ribbon in white. I want this one about here, so we want the ribbon to be about that long. So I'll just get my ribbon scissors. My ribbon scissors don't seem to be where they should be. Okay, just going to cut that one, not my ribbon scissors by the way, to there, and I'm going to do another one as well. Cut that one to there. Okay. Alright, and I was just eyeballing that, so I want them to be about the same length, which they are, which is great. And then I want to cut an angle, which is great for making sure that it doesn't fray. Okay, so again, not my ribbon scissors, so a little bit of a challenge. So we've got this one here. Okay, and then we need to cut this one here. Okay, again, try and, oh, okay, try not to play with that too much. I'm not sure what it will do. Okay, and we'll do that on the other side. So really what you want them to be doing is coming like to an arrow point like this. So again, this is going to be your pointy end, and this is going to be where we start it, and make a point. Yeah, okay. And the same with this one, where we start it. To make a point. All right. Okay, now the best way to adhere these to your card base is going to be using some Stampin' Up! Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus. Stampin' Seal Plus. Probably can trim that edge there, which will do. All right, our Stampin' Seal is down on our card, and so basically what I was doing was measuring, like making sure that this was nice and centered, and then I wanted my ribbon to be under that the edge of my label. So, and now I'm just going to go ahead and make sure this is the right way around. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the Stampin' Seal Plus. Almost forgot, yep, so just making sure that my bottom edge, so my bottom edge is the most important edge at the moment that I need to get right. Okay. Yep. And not sure if I can lift up that little leaf there. In fact, I'm not even going to try. Also not going to try and pull on that ribbon either. Okay, and then we've got our little arrow point, a little bit of a gap between the two ribbons. And nice and straight across there. Okay. And didn't matter that it didn't match up over this side because that's going to be underneath our label. So when our label goes on, it's going to, you're just going to have that little bit of fray edge poking out. And of course you've got that top edge poking out. And we just want to make sure that our label is nice and centered as well. Okay, so definitely have balanced it out there and that seems to be balanced. So this one here, I think we're going to have to double up on that dimensional on that side there, because there's nothing that's over in that corner. So I'll just take off the backing of that one, and we'll pop another dimensional on top of it. Okay, let's see how that goes now. I'm actually feeling like this one here is actually going to need to have another dimensional on it. So the ribbon is definitely propping it up quite a bit. Okay, so pop it on there. Yes, that's really good. Okay, pop these non-ribbon cutting scissors back there, and I'm sure when I'll clean up I will find it again. And so that is nice and centered, but we still need for our label to go under, and that's where we want it. Okay, so again, a bit of Stampin' Seal Plus is what's going to adhere that to the ribbon. So we've popped on our Stampin' Seal and stick, and then we're just going to adhere our label to there. I do notice that Maheshwari has also got some white speckle happening on the label. Might be too late for me to take that off. It is Stampin' Seal Plus, so that's you know, okay, it's neither here nor there, that's fine. So I think we can go ahead now and adhere our label. So, and the label is going to be flush with the ribbon, centered okay. Okay, now there's just one more little touch on Maheshwari's card, and that was a strip of black that comes from here and a little bit of ribbon. So instead of the frayed ribbon, I'm just going to bring in from the Petal Pink and White diagonal trim combo pack. Just going to bring in the white from there. 15 centimeters is my preferred bow tying length, so I really must find my ribbon scissors. Okay, and I'll just make that into a little bow. Try and make our loop a bit bigger maybe. This makes it a bit harder when I'm doing the tails, but it definitely is working for getting the bow through. There we go. Just got to watch that tail now, so Okay, so I'm just going to bring a 1 centimeter wide by 4 centimeter piece in, and I'm going to adhere that to there. So a little bit of liquid glue and upper dimensional to go onto the end. So we'll do that. Alright, and we'll take off our dimensional backing. And then it's basically going to go straight down the middle of that ribbon, but be underneath the flower. And then our little ribbon. Let's pop a glue dot onto there. I might just do 2 glue dots for luck. Especially a nice thick ribbon like this. So, and we're just going to adhere that to the base of our flower. Alright, so a couple little additions you could do is you could just curl up the petals of these flowers. And of course these are all lovely and loose, so that gives it some dimension. And the last thing that we need to do is just bring in those lovely adhesive backed dots. We've got a couple of sizes, so you've got your large and your smaller ones. So we're going to go for some large. So we're going to go for about 5. Go for a magic number. I love these adhesive back dots. I think they go beautifully with this card. Just with that kind of ribbony background, it really kind of brings the colours in. And of course, our final part is to adhere our multi-purpose glue with our multi-purpose glue and adhere it to the card front. To adhere that back, I'll just open the card up and grab the bone folder and then just kind of apply a little bit of pressure to the card. Grab just, you know, getting the 2 pieces of card to connect and attach themselves. Okay, beautiful. Alright, so our inside of the card is going to be a 10 centimeter by 14.3. So multi-purpose glue, and we'll just adhere that to the base. Okay. And then our white piece is 9.5 centimeters by 13.8. Okay, you can stamp a nice thank you sentiment inside that. This could also be a birthday card. It's actually quite versatile. Could be quite a few occasions with such a pretty card like this. Okay, and there we go, ready to go. But I'm really happy with that. We have definitely moved away from the Halloween vibes, and we've created this gorgeous thanks card. And again, that was cased from Maheshwari, and I feel very inspired by what she's sharing. So thank you so much, Maheshwari, for this. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the craft room real soon. Bye.